2026 is the year of Wu Chen. Let's read at the door. Where 3. Spend the whole year in peace. In 2026, Chima came on fire. Why is it called Wu Chen? One less touch of red hanging at the door. They often carry 3 things. This sentence comes from the lining feather of the landlord. What kind of misfortune does it portend? The Tao Te Ching has clouds or cherishes blessings. Cherish the blessings of disasters. The way things work. All between the arrogance of yin and yang. Seemingly ominous omen. Maybe there is a secret to seeking good luck and avoiding evil. The so-called Wu Chen, it refers to the solar term that there is no beginning of spring in the lunar year. The ancients believed that spring is the beginning of the year. Source of growth. Year of Wu Chen. Yankee is difficult to rise. Fear of love. And Chima belongs to fire among the 5 elements. The year of Chima is full of fire. When Wang Huo meets Wu Chen, like dry wood in flames. One click. Now this is not alarmist. Our ancestors looked at the heavens and the earth. The wisdom left after summarizing the rules. Facing the unknown fleeting years, it was time. Cautious hedging, or bucking the trend, will suffer the consequences. The trade-off. The test is not just wisdom. More people. Northern foot of Taihang Mountain. There is an inconspicuous small village. Change to Wangjiao. There is a man in the village, named Wang Zhen, only 40 years old. He is a famous person with a radius of hundreds of miles. Wang Zheng doesn't talk much, but he has a unique skill in his hands. Others seek water veins. It depends on 80 or 90 times when feng shui turns into grass and trees. Wang Zheng is different. He stood on the ground. Close your eyes. The ears are slightly extinguished as if they would move. A moment later, he chopped 3 times on the ground with his foot. Point to a place and say, wow. 1 dig 1. Well, water cleaning sweet. Never miss. With this craftsmanship, Wang Zheng is highly respected in Wangjiao. Who gets married? Build a house. The first thing, just ask Wang Zheng to give my brother a heart sutra. However, at the end of this autumn, Wang Zheng's reputation was most familiar to him. There was a big somersault in the place. Li Yuanwai's family in the village is going to build a new house. Naturally, Wang Zheng was also invited. Wang Zheng was arrested in the Li family's backyard, as usual. Finally, he stomped his feet. Chen Shengdao dug down 3 feet from here. Force out the spring. Li Yuanwai was overjoyed. Set up the banquet immediately. Hospitality. The next day, the Li family hired 7 or 8 strong men. Jingle, excavation. But something weird just happened. 1 foot 2 feet. 3 feet straight to the 4 feet of the block. Don't talk about springs. I didn't see a single bit of wet soil. The soil at the bottom of the well is dry enough to raise ash. Word spreads. The whole Wangjiao is fried. Wang Zheng missed. Get out of here. His nose is better than a dog's. The ear is better than the downwind ear. How can I not find water? What a miracle. I think it's all blown out. It's revealed this time. Wang Zheng himself was also confused. He was standing by the dry well. Complexion is clear. Repeatedly grab the dry soil from the bottom of the well by hand. Scribe at the tip of the nose. That's right. The unique earthy smell of millet with water vapor. He can never be wrong. But what about the water? Where did the water go? Li Yuanwai's face was as black as the bottom of a pot. He paid for it, excavating with great fanfare in the village. I wanted to use the new well to add a good prize to the new house. Instead, they dug a dead well. It made him feel humiliated. Wang Jing Li Yuan Y pointed at Wang Jing's nose. Spittle stars fly. I respect you as a person. Delicious and delicious food will entertain you. That's how you fool me. Where did you put my Li family's face? Wang Jing's lips moved. Can't say a word. This is the first time in 20 years that he has experienced the frustration and confusion that rises from the bottom of my heart, like an invisible hand, holding his heart tightly. He couldn't figure out what was wrong. Li Yuanwei saw him like this. I'm even more angry. Announce the attack in public without giving a word to the future. The Wang family's detective, the Li family, will never use it again. This is undoubtedly on Wang Jing's face. Slap hard. That night, the king drank an unprecedented amount of wine. Drunk in the yard. His wife, Yun Yan, helped her into the house. Looking at her husband's sad face and the tears in the corners of her eyes. Distressed. It's nothing for the leader to miss this. Yang softly comforted. Who hasn't had an eye shot yet? Don't take it personally. Wang Jing opened a pair of bloodshot eyes. Is it not difficult to hit the eye? Not that he can feel it. Something's different down there. He can't tell what it is. I just feel an inexplicable dryness rising up from the depths of the veins. It was overwhelming. This failure is like a thorn deep into Wang Jing's heart. It also penetrated into the hearts of the villagers of Wangzhou. Someone who once believed in him. The way I look at him now, with a bit of inquiry and skepticism. Those who were already jealous of his abilities. I found a reason. Talk behind your back. Make up a lot of bad words. He was menopausal. Hurt the vein. Retribution. Said he had some nasty disease. It's not working. Some people say that his ability has come from the wrong way. It's a deal with some mountain monster. Now the deadline has come. The ability was taken back. Gossip is like an invisible king. Trapped the Wang Jing family firmly. Wang Jing locked himself in the house all day. Without a word. Just wipe it over and over again, sprinkling his years-old spade. Hollow eyes. Yun Niang sees it in her eyes. In a hurry. He knows his husband's chastity. It's not about the humiliation of Li Yu. It's not about the villagers. It's that he can't get through his own level. He doesn't understand why the ability to survive will suddenly fail. This night, Wang Terrier twists and turns and can't sleep. Simply get dressed and get up. Walked out of the house alone. The moonlight shines on the silent village road like water. He's like a ghost. Went to the earth temple at the east end of the village. This temple is not big. It's a little stone magazine, half a person tall. Inside is a smiling stone statue of the earth. The wind and sun this year. The face of the stone statue is already a little blurred. Wang Jing is a stunning person, dealing with land all year round. There is a natural reverence for the land public. And he steps forward, silently clearing away the fallen leaves and weeds in front of the Shinto. Then he fell to his knees with a plop. He didn't ask for money. I didn't ask for a name. Just the anguish and confusion in my heart. Confessed to the inner stone statue. Earth Lord, I, Wang Jiang, asked myself, I have been working hard all these years. Never done anything wrong. I live by my craft. Reverence for the earth. Why did you make me look bad? Cut off my life. Your old man is in charge of one side of the water and soil. You tell me. What happened underground? Wang Jiang said while his forehead hit the cold blue stone slab. Make a dull sound. The wind rustled through the woods behind the temple. As if in response to his inquiry, I don't know how long it has been. Wang Jiang felt physically and mentally exhausted. He actually fell asleep while relying on the stone magazine. In his sleep, he felt himself. It's like falling into a wormhole in the earth. It's surrounded by thick, reassuring soil. A white beard and white hair. A little old man running outside in a khaki zip. Standing in front of him with a smile. Old man's appearance. It is 7 or 8 points similar to the land in the stone magazine. The little old man Wang Jiang spoke up. The voice is gentle and old. Wang Jiang was awake in his dream. He knew that this was the landlord in front of him. I'm about to kneel again. The land public waved his hand. A gentle force held him back. You're wrong. The landlord sighed and said, I was wrong. Wang is more prone to coldness. Li Jia well. Not to make you fall. It's not your fault that the land public slowly goes down the well. It's an angel's omen. The change of the earth. Angel's omen. Change of earth and atmosphere. Wang Jinting's clouds are in the fog. Land for twisting beard. His expression became serious. You are with the earth all year round. Heart-shaped pure good. Therefore, the atmosphere has changed. You are the first to feel. I let that well dry up. Not to punish you, but to lend you your hand. Also remind the villagers of Wang Jiao. Reminder, Wang Gang's heart skipped a beat. Just over a year. It is Bingwu year. And that's what you call 2026. The eyes of the landlord became deep. Pinus. 5 elements are fire. It's for the year of the red horse. And here's what's even more important, the beginning of spring, at the end of the year. The beginning of spring is at the beginning of the following year. This makes the head of the entire Bingwu year stained with spring. The tail waits for spring. Beginning in the year of Wu Qian, also called the year of the widow. The king listened to these mysterious words. I just feel cold in my back. A year without spring. Yang Qi does not rise. There is also a drought. Another fiery year of the red horse. This is adding fuel to the fire. Dry firewood. There was a trace of seriousness in the voice of the landlord. Stone earth gas cracking. Baikuan has the worry of drying up. Everything is suspected of dead manuscripts. That. How can that be? Wang is in a hurry. Isn't that a catastrophe? The landlord looked at him and nodded. You are kind-hearted. Think about your neighbors. I'll give you a message. You remember. Until that year comes. And ask the villagers to hang less red at the door. Less hanging up the Red King is even more puzzled. Hanging red lanterns for Chinese New Year. Pasting red couplets is a rule handed down by our ancestors. Tachuk festive. Avoid evil. Why, hang up less? The land public shook his head, and when it is inappropriate, it is inappropriate. The year of the red horse was already hot. Red is fire. Hanging at the door of every household, full of red. It's like adding another fire to your door. Sky fire outside. There is a fire inside. Add to fires. It will only lead to disaster. Human and animal anxiety. The words are constant. The king was even more frightened. He had never heard of it. Except for less red. What else should I pay attention to? He pressed. The landlord gave him an approving look. You got the point. Except to avoid disaster. More extreme. I want to spend the whole year in peace. You must always carry 3 things with you. 3 things. Wang Zheng was refreshed. Quickly asked which 3 are they. The landlord smiled slightly. He held out 3 fingers. He was about to open his mouth. Suddenly a loud rooster crowing came from a distance, breaking the silence of the night. Instantly, the figure of the Land Duke began to become transparent. The smile on his face also blurred. The secret cannot be prevented from leaking. His voice became ethereal. It's like it's coming from far away. You just need to inform the villagers of the less popular words. As for those 3 things, when the time comes, you will know. The voice has not yet fallen. The figure of the landlord is like a wisp of blue smoke, completely dissipated. Wang Zheng only felt a flash in front of his eyes. He opened his eyes. The sky has turned white. He discovered that I actually slept all night in front of the Earth Temple. Wearing an old coat, it was his wife Yun Yang who covered him up at some point. Last night's dream was as real as if it had just happened. The solemn affection of the land public. Don't hang red at the door. We're 3. Every word was clearly engraved in his mind. This is no ordinary dream. Wang Zheng cleverly got up from the ground. He knew it was a plot of land, planted to the entire Wang family proud corpse. Well, he didn't care to beat the dust on his body. Fang Di ran towards the village like a child. He's going to tell everyone the news. The king even entrusted the dream of the land public. I told my wife Yun Yang the truth. Yun Yan was also skeptical after hearing it. But looking at her husband's unprecedented seriousness, he chose to believe. It's too big. We have to talk to the village chief first. Yun Niang proposed to. Wang Zheng nodded. The 2 immediately found the village elder Wang Tu. Lao Wang Tu is an old man in his 60s. Respected in the village, he listened to Wang Zheng's story. Dress up with a goatee twisted. Genko, what you said is true. The land has really given you a dream. Absolutely. Wang Zheng patted his chest and promised. The well at village chief Li, Yuan Wai's house, is an omen. The land public said, eating the year of the horse without spring, too angry. There is a risk of big men in our village. Lao Wang frowned. He looked at Manjin. Look out the window at the fields that are starting to turn yellow. I also beat a drum in my heart. This year's rain is indeed much less than in previous years. It's okay to hang less red at the door. Just a custom. But those 3 things you mentioned, the landman didn't make it clear. This old king's face is ugly. The land public said that I will know when it actually arrives. The most important thing is to let everyone know. Stop hanging red. The king said more eagerly. Lao Wangtu thinks about 3. Decided to gather a few ancestors in the village. Discussed this with Li Yuan. When Li Yuanwei heard that Wang Zheng came again. I don't want to pay attention. But when I heard that the village chief called, what disaster warning is it related to? He rolled his eyes and followed. In front of everyone, Wang Zheng repeated Meng Zheng again. The voice just fell. Li Yuanwei burst out laughing. I think it's a big deal. It turned out that Wang Daineng made up the story. He said sarcastic. Wang Zheng, you lost face by failing to love. I don't know how to pick it up. Instead, he started to play tricks. It's the dream of the land again. It's another year without spring. It's like the truth. I see you. I want to take the responsibility of never getting out of the water. Push it on God. Li Yuanwei's words were vitriolic. All of a sudden, it hit Wang Zheng's pain. Wang Jing's face flushed red. Li Yuanwei, what I said is the truth. This is a matter that affects the lives of the whole village. How can you say so much about I believe so. Li Yuanwei sneered and stood up. You said that eating the ear of the horse is very hot. The door cannot be hung red. Otherwise it will lead to disaster. I, Li, don't believe in this evil. He pointed to the king and announced loudly to the crowd present. Wait until the Chinese New Year. My Li family not only wants to be popular, I want a big hanging. I'm going to use the reddest silk in the world. Decorate my door more prosperous than a bride. I'd like to see it. It's my days that are prosperous. Or can your crow mouth invite disaster? Li Yuanwei's words were resounding. Urgent residence in Several foot elders present. I was skeptical of Wang Geng's words. At this moment, it is even more a rumor moved by Li Yuan. Yes, the Chinese New Year is not popular. Is that still called Chinese New Year? Since ancient times, red is a symbol of joy and auspicious. Because Wang Zheng has an illusory dream. Change the rules of the ancestors. It's too much of a joke. In the end, the negotiation ended unhappily. Village Chief Wang too, although his heart is at a low point. But there is no strong means to demand that the villagers. He could only instruct Wang Zhengzi in private at this time. Hey, don't take it too seriously. Believe it or not, Wang even looked at the villagers or laughed. Or looked suspiciously. My heart is blocked by a big stone to the north. He can't figure it out. Be kind. Why is this the result? Do we have to wait until disaster strikes? Will they believe it? From that day on, Wang Zheng has become a complete outlier in the village. The children met him. Will follow behind and shout to play tricks. Wang Zheng can't feel the water. Mighty man. Adults avoid him. For fear of getting some bad luck. Only Yunyang always stood firmly by his side. Silently support him. Time flies. More than a year has passed. During the period, Guangzhou and surrounding areas, it's really as the Earth's Palace wants to say. Trapped in a persistent drought, the river level drops again and again. Field army. The crops are dying. The villagers began to become anxious. Praying to God and worshipping Buddha is useless. Some people began to remember Wang Ging's original warning. It's not just plucking. But Li Yuanwei went even further. He spends a lot of money. We brought in a more professional police force from out of town. Next to the dry well, in his backyard, dig a deeper well. This time it dug up water. Although the amount of water is not large, but I finally solved the urgent need of the Li family. Li Yuanwei was even more proud. Tell everyone you see it. It's nonsense to abandon it all the time. As long as you are willing to spend money and chew on your strength, nothing is impossible. Wang Zheng is a liar. As the new year approaches, Wang Zhao's atmosphere became increasingly strange. The shadow of drought hangs over everyone. But centuries of tradition, it also makes people unable to give up their expectations for the new year. Households are still preparing for the New Year's goods. It's just that the smile on his face is much less than in previous years. Li Yuan, plus, it is a lively and extraordinary scene. He really kept his promise. Bought the brightest red silk from the county seat, the largest red lantern, the longest red firecracker. Travel day. Li family courtyard from the inside out, decorated as a sea of red. Dazzling. Li Yuanwei also specially held a banquet at the door. Invite the whole village to eat and drink, to show off his good fortune and contempt for Wang Gang's prophecy. Most of the villagers went. After all, there is free wine and meat to eat. Wang Zheng looked particularly deserted. He obeyed the housewife of the landowner. Not only did he not hang anything red, even the Spring Festival couplets that should be pasted on the door, let Yunyang write on yellow paper. The whole yard is too quiet, out of tune with the hustle and bustle around. On New Year's Eve, firecrackers blared in Li's courtyard. The laughter continued into the night. And Wang Zheng stayed up all night. He stood in the courtyard and looked at the waning moon in the sky. I always have an ominous feeling in my heart. The year of the red horse is like this, amid contradictions and tensions. New Year's Day. Villagers greet each other, say auspicious words. But I miss my own water tank. And dry fields. Everything seems to be the same as usual. Li Yuanwei is in high spirits. Hands down when you see anyone Happy New Year. Do you think my days are getting more and more prosperous? And people started talking in private. Speaking Wang Zheng's language is probably just a joke. However, the change happened on the night of the third day of the new year. It happened quietly. First, in Li Yuanwei's chicken cage, hundreds of chickens overnight. All died inexplicably. Miserable death. Twisted neck. Like being strangled to death by something. Then a few big fat pigs in his pigsty. She stopped eating and drinking, vomiting and diarrhea. I met the king of hell in 2 days. Li Yuanwei panicked. He brought in the best vet in town. The vet checked for a long time and couldn't say why. Just say it's evil. Li Yuanwei does not believe in evil. Strange things happen one after another. His newly dug well, the water level begins to drop at a rate visible to the naked eye. On the 15th day of the first lunar month, the well water became cloudy. A stench. Don't say people drink. Even the animals shook their heads when they smelled it. And Li Yuanwei himself also started having nightmares all night long, dreaming of countless fire snakes entangling him, drag him into the bottomless abyss. He is whole, weakening at a rate visible to the naked eye. Ocular depression. Look terrified. I don't see the same high spirits anymore. The villagers are completely scared now. They saw it with their own eyes. Those families that have more red on them during Chinese New Year, the more likely your livestock is to get sick, the faster the well dries. On the contrary, he almost listened to Wang Zhang's words. People who are not very popular, although it is also affected by drought. But things are clearly much better. The most amazing thing is that Wang Ging, the old well water in his house is not only not dry, it's clearer than it was years ago. Although the water level has also dropped, but enough for a family's daily use. The stark contrast sent shivers down everyone's spine. They finally realized. I'm afraid what Wang Zhang said is true. This night, the village elder Wang Tu and several ancestors, with shame and horror, knocking on the door of Wang Zhang's house. Even more, we were wrong. As soon as Lao Wang saw Wang Zhen, he almost knelt down. We are blind to Mount Tai. Don't listen to good people. Please save Wang Zhao. The king looked at them. Mixed feelings in my heart. He has no smugness and no resentment. Only a heavy sense of mission. Village chief, get up. He lifted the old king's head. I have already said the warning of the Land Duke. And the truth is, we all did. An ancestor said eagerly. But it's not enough to just know that you are less popular. Didn't the landlord also say, wear 3 things on your body? Can we get through this year safely? Gangzi, please tell us. What are those 3 things? All eyes. It's like grasping the last straw. He stared at Wang Jing. However, in the face of everyone's expectant eyes, Wang Jing's face, but revealed a trace of bitterness and embarrassment. He opened his mouth. It looks like something is stuck in my throat. Because the most crucial answer, he doesn't know it himself. Land company. I didn't even have time to tell him in my dream. Everyone looked eagerly at Wang Zhang, hoping to get a life-saving solution from him. Li Yuanwei also dragged the sick body. With the support of his family, Liang Liang came over choking. His face was ashes. As soon as he saw Wang Jin, he fell to the ground with a plop. The hoarse voice begged the Wang Jing brothers. I was wrong. It's my Ju Yumeng's heart that doesn't know. Anyway, please, for the sake of the same village, tell me what those 3 things are. Save me, save the whole village. The men, women and children of the Wang family, kneeling in the dark. Cries and pleas resounded through the night sky. Everyone's net worth name. It seems to be tied to Wang Jing's next painting. The king looked at the scene in front of him. Mixed feelings. He was well aware of his own answer at the moment. Will determine the fate of the entire village. But the land company did not expressly. Where should he start? He remembered the phrase in the land palace in his dream, when the time comes, you will know. Is the time just around the corner? And he had an epiphany. As if thinking of something. Facing the ardent expectations of the whole village, Wang Jing took a deep breath. Eyes swept across desperate and anxious faces. Finally, it landed on Li Yuanwei, who was kneeling at the front. He slowly raised his hand, fingertips trembling slightly. In a tone that has never been more dignified, say it word by word. Those 3 things are not extraordinary. They correspond to human heaven, respectively. The 3 talents of the local people. I want to spend the spring without sighs in a stable manner. This first thing is half of what Wang Zhang said, but suddenly stopped. His face instantly turned pale, eyes full of horror. It was like seeing something incredible. The villagers followed his gaze. I saw behind Li Yuan, in the darkness, shrouded in night, something is whispering. Changes that occur. That's not some mountain ghost. It's not evil. In the astonished eyes of everyone, they see the outside world as the center. He's within 3 feet of him. The air seems to be twisted. A weak and seeming pale red-hot air. It's almost impossible to see with the naked eye. But the people present, no step feels a rush of anxiety and unease, as if a nameless evil fire had ignited in my heart out of thin air. It makes you want to argue, want to destroy something, especially Li Yuanwei, who was kneeling on the ground. His whole portrait is shrouded in an invisible steamer, an abnormal flush on his face, eyes bloodshot, gross breathing. The tendons on the forehead are held up. The whole person exudes a kind of strength that is about to collapse. Fire is fire, death is harder to heal. He finally understood. The fire that the landlord said, not just a drought brought by angels. It refers to the fire in people's hearts. Is the fire of arrogance? It's the fire of greed. Is the fire of resentment? Chima, no spring. The yang algae in the sky had reached its peak. This energy triggers an external drought. It explodes the depths of people's hearts. Hidden negative emotions. Li Yuanwei's arrogance, his contempt for the rules of heaven and earth, make him the most prosperous person in this crowd. The bright red in front of his house, like a shadow, between the fire of heaven and earth and the fire of his heart. Hooked together, internal and external processing. The livestock died suddenly. Well, water stench. The various disasters that haunt me with nightmares. Where is this disaster? This is clearly a robbery. It's a disaster. Wang Zhang knelt down before his eyes. But there are still people's eyes shining. Villagers shining with suspicion and calculation. There was sadness in his heart. He knew that if he simply told them the names of 3 things, they will only treat it as fujo that they asked for. A gourd is carried on the body. I don't know why. The fire in my heart will never go out. It's useless to bring anything. When the time comes, you will know. The words of the landlord echo in my ears. Wang Zhang suddenly became enlightened. It's about time. It's about time. He was not the only one who knew. It should be the blind date of the entire Wang Jiao. These 3 things cannot be said by him. It has to be done by him. Let everyone see with their own eyes. Experience firsthand. Think of this. Wang Zhang took a deep breath. He ignored the urging of the crowd. He turned around. He strode back to his yard. Everyone agrees. I don't know what medicine is sold in the Wang Terrier gourd. Onion quickly followed. Asked in a low voice, the head has always been. The king did not answer. He dutifully walked into his kitchen. It is not a big kitchen, but it was cleaned up by Zhang Zhangzhang is a man who uses low S and bricks, an old-fashioned stone cooktop. There is also a little warm rain in the kitchen. This stove was handed down from Wang Zheng's father. Wang Zheng was born and raised. They all eat meals made from this stove. Wang Zheng walked to the stove and bowed respectfully 3 times. Then he stretched out that pair of perennial dealing with the dirt, calloused hands. From the very center of the stove, carefully plucked out a pinch of warm loess. This soil is the center of the hearth. The stove is the foundation of a family's fireworks. The warm nourishing of the stove heart soil with firewood. No longer ordinary. It contains the aroma of grains, the warmth of family. But here's the thing. It symbolizes the domestication of fire to feed people. The king even rubbed this modeling soil. Wrap it in a clean piece of Wang Pu, dragged in the palm of your hand, and he walked out. He stood again in front of the crowd. Raised the Wang Pu bag in your hand, high. Blind date. The first thing that was communized was here. All eyes are focused on that little Wang Pu bag, eyes full of curiosity and longing. Li Yuanwei struggled to raise his head. Asked this hoarsely. What is this, baby? It's not, baby. Wang Zheng shook his head. He untied the cloth bag. Show the pinch of loess to the crowd. This is bad soil. It's the dirt in your kitchen pantries and mine. There was an uproar in the crowd. And everybody froze. They thought about what jade pendant would be. Never thought. It turned out to be this stove soil that can be seen everywhere. Brother Wang, are you kidding us? A man couldn't help shouting. Wang Gang's gaze swept towards the man. Your size has no spring. Cremation way in. This fire is both the fire of the sky. It's the fire of the heart. Look at Li Yu. Look at yourselves. Do you feel bored? Grumpy. If something goes wrong, you want to argue with people. As soon as this sentence comes out, many people bowed their heads. Exactly. Since the beginning of spring, the village for a trivial matter. There are several times more quarrels and bickering than in previous years. The king continued. The fire is too big. Carve with water. It will only send water and fire. Loosely. The gift of the 5 elements. Fire, land, soil, more fire club. I want to quell the monstrous fire. The best thing to do is not to react, but to thank him. He pointed to the noisy soil in his hand. The sound is getting louder. Earth can carry all things. Can transform everything. Cooked up soil. It is an open flame that will explode. Transformed to raise our wealth. The gentle energy of life. It represents the root. It's home. Take it with you. Is to remind us all the time. No matter how the angels outside crack. Our hearts should be as thick and steady as this earth. We must safeguard the roots of our family. If the heart is not dry, be safe around you. That's what the first thing is about. Wang Geng's words are like the morning bell. The twilight drum is beating heavily on everyone's heart. They looked at the pinch of plain loess. It's as if I don't see the soil anymore. It's the warmth of a family eating around the stove. It is the figure of the mother busy in front of the stove. It's the reassuring aroma of food. That millet is restless from the heart. It seems to be really affected by these words. It has healed a lot. I see. I see. Li Yuanwei muttered to himself. Turbid tears rolled down from my eyes. My heart is on the outside. Building a new house again. Dig a deep well again. But I forgot to protect my own roots. My old stove was torn down by me long ago. He is remorseful. Chest beating. The villagers are waking up. No more hesitation. One by one, they turned and ran home. Respectfully take a pinch from your own kitchen. The stove coarse soil is accidentally wrapped. Personal storage. Strange to say, when he placed the warm dirt bag on his chest, a warm current seems to spread from the heart. Spread all over the limbs. That inexplicable irritability and panic. It really dissipated most of it. See this scene. Wang Ying's heart was burning. He knew the first step was right. He didn't immediately say the second thing. Instead, let everyone wait quietly in the yard. Feel the long-lost peace. After a stick of incense, people's mood has completely calmed down. Only then did Wang Jing take out another thing from his arms. It was a piece that had already been sold by Mama. The old copper coins with the ERA number cannot be seen clearly. Foreign aid and domestic side of copper coins. Gloomy in the moonlight. Here's the second thing. Wang Jing said. This time, no one dares to question. An old man asked respectfully, "What's the point of this copper coin?" Wang Jing dragged the copper coin in his palm. Slowly said that this copper coin is round and inside. Symbolizes the round sky and the round place. He represents the rules. It is the law that operates between heaven and earth. He looked at Li. Outside the staff, they swept away everyone's land, and the public trusted dream world brocade. The rules of heaven and earth. Through him, the old man gave us an advance sign. But how do we do it? Li Yuanwei took the lead in disbelief. You can win by yourself. You can provoke the angels with a door full of red. And many of us don't say it. I also have luck in my heart. I feel that the law does not blame the public. What is this? This is the loss of awe in the heart. No rules. Wang Geng's voice was not loud, but every word beat hard. Year of size. On Martian rock, its sex is not required. Easiest to break the rules. If we have no rules in our hearts, will correspond to the chaos among the angels. Natural disasters are approaching. Take this coin. Not because it warns off evil. It's about remembering the rules all the time. Be in awe of the sky. Move with the times and be grateful to the earth. Take it well and have a heart of circles for people. Know what to do. What not to do. This copper coin is gold. Real gold refined by fire. The more evil the year, the more you can test the rules in a person's heart. How is the quality? Abide by the rules. It can be refined into real gold in the fire, and it cannot abide by the rules. Can only be burned to ashes. I am in awe. Heart has rules. And that's the idea behind the second thing. Wang Jing finished speaking. Put that coin back in your arms. The villagers were struck by lightning, one by one. Dazed on the spot. They finally understand. Wang Terrier is not talking about immortal spells. It's about being human. It is handed down from our ancestors. But the root they gradually forgot. Yeah, it's been better these years. People's hearts are also wild. The fear of the gods of heaven and earth is gradually lost. There's more calculation in the neighborhood. Lack of sincerity. This big man. This disaster. Like a mirror. And I can see the ugliness in their hearts. No noise. No commotion. The villagers went home in silence. Rummage. Find the oldest copper coin in your home. They imitated Wang Zheng's appearance. Wipe the copper coins clean. Put it close to your body. When that cold copper coin touches the skin, it was as if there was a clear aura directly overhead. Let their minds clear up a lot in an instant. They seemed to feel themselves connected to the sky. The land a connection based on awe and respect. When everyone has a hearth and wine, when the copper coins regrouped in Wang Ging's courtyard, the sky has turned white. One day seems a little different from the past. The stuffy heat in the air seems a lot lighter. Instead of, it is a kind of freshness like the first light after the rain. Even kneeling all night. But the dying Li Yu, I feel less blocked at the moment. Breathing is also much easier. He struggled and gave Wang Jing a This time it's a police uniform from the heart. Wang Zheng brothers. Thank you very much. Please tell us, what is this third thing? Everyone's eyes were once again focused on Wang Jing. This time, their eyes are no longer simply asking for. It was filled with piety and a thirst for knowledge. Wang Zheng watched the changes in everyone's expressions. There is a warm current in my heart. He knew it was time. He didn't take out any more objects. Its warmth. And look at everyone present. Slowly opened his mouth. This third thing. Most important. The hardest to find. His voice was soft. But it clearly reached everyone's ears. He's not anywhere else. In your own home. And the third thing is a gray hair. The white-haired crowd was stunned again. Wang Zheng nodded. His expression became very solemn. But not just anyone's gray hair. This white hair. It has to be a living parent. You pull it from the top. I am willing to give it to you. As soon as this statement comes out, the crowd lost its temper. Some people still have parents. Happy face. Some parents are long dead. Suddenly his face was ashes. Others were embarrassed. Although their parents are still alive, but usually for the family property. For old age, arguing with parents, relationships are already rigid. Now let them beg for a white hair. It's harder than going to the sky. Li Yuanwei is one of them. His parents are long gone. He was slumped on the floor. His eyes dimmed instantly. Is it over? I'm done. Wang Zheng didn't seem to see everyone's reaction. He went on to say that if his parents were gone, there is also a way. That is to ask for the oldest person in the village. The most virtuous elder kneels and begs for a white hair. But only if the elder must be sincere. Gift without asking for anything in return. If you are reluctant, or you used money to buy it, then this white hair is useless. It could even lead to greater disaster. Wang Geng's words are like a sharp sword. Cut off the thoughts of all those who want to take shortcuts. He looked at the complicated expressions of the crowd, said with heavy wings that the red horse has no spring. Ruthless. Most wounded blood. The worst humanities. Think about that. This year, how many people are upset because of their hearts? Evil to parents. How many people are affected by the drought in the fields? Push 3 and 4 when it comes to supporting the elderly. How many are there? I have long forgotten the kindness of my parents. See them as a burden. Gray hair is the frost of time. It's yin blood. It belongs to water. Its color is gold. Just enough to contain the atmosphere of disaster. But that's just the surface. This white hair from my parents represents filial piety. It's the gift of birth. Is the root of blood? Filial piety comes first. Alone, if you don't even respect your parents who raise you. His heart has been ruthless. The fire of righteousness has been burned dry. How can we resist the calamity of heaven and earth? The process of seeking this gray hair is not a ceremony. It was a confession. It is for you to face your past unfilial piety. To pick up that forgotten affection again. When your parents or a respected elder, the roots of their fingers are condensed with the white hair of their life's hard work. When handed over to you, what you get is the inheritance of blood. It's selfless love. It is the most powerful amulet in the world. The heart is the root of wealth. The 9 copper coins stand for the return of heaven and earth. And this gray hair saves the very essence of our hearts. Shan'an administration. Good heart. Fear not, disaster. Wang Geng's words are finished. And the yard was silent. I could only hear bursts of uncontrollable sobbing. It wasn't a cry of fear, but tears of regret. Many people, especially those men and rich people who are disrespectful to their parents on weekdays. I'm already sobbing. They were wiping their tears with their sleeves. Turn around and face your own direction. Run like crazy. They're not asking for ambulance. They are reminded of their mother under the lamp for themselves. Mended clothes. Remembering my father's livelihood for the Lee family, and the curved spine. They just want to go faster. Hurry up and get back to your parents. Kneel in front of them and tell them you're wrong. Those whose parents are no longer there. They gathered together with sad faces. Negotiate. I'm going to meet the oldest man in the village, Zhang Blind. Zhang Blind has no children and no daughters. Lonely. On weekdays, it all depends on the owner for a meal. Shija lives in one piece of clothing. A lot of people used to think he was sloppy. Walk around him. But this moment in everyone's heart, his thin figure became incomparably tall. Li Yuny also woke up from despair. He didn't ask Blind Zhang. He knows that he has lived by himself. Go to. Blind Zhang will never give him white hair, sincerely. He dragged his frail body in plain sight. Once again, he knelt down and crawled in front of Wang Jing. This time he didn't ask for anything. He was just facing Wang Jin, facing Yunyang standing behind Wang Jin. Wang Jing, who came to hear the news. The gray-haired old father. A heavy. Wang Jing brothers. I'm sorry for your sister-in-law. I'm sorry, you old man. I am not human. Li Yuanhuai's head hit the cold ground, one after another. Blood trickled down his forehead. Mixed with the dust on the ground, he cried like a child. How could he be jealous of Wang Zheng's ability? How to hold a grudge for failure? How to spread rumors behind your back? How to humiliate Wang Zheng by leading the way? Pile by pile. Say it all in front of the whole village. He's not defending himself. He is atoning. The villagers listened quietly. No one laughed at him. Because they know the extreme burning in Li Yuanhuai's heart. Flames of arrogance also burned in their own hearts. Wang Ging's old father looked at the scene in front of him, and he let out a big sigh. And he steps forward. With those same calloused hands, he helped Li Yuanhuai up. Knowing mistakes later can make a lot of improvements. The old man's voice was old and gentle. He turned to look at his son, Wang Zheng, eyes full of relief and pride. And he made one. Actions that surprise everyone. From his gray hair, carefully unplugged, one. That white hair in the morning light, shining with silver light. The old man put this white hair, gently placed it in Li Yuanhuai's trembling hands. The old man's son woke up the whole village. It can be regarded as accumulating virtue for the Wang family. My gray hair is worth nothing. If you are truly repentant, take it. Be kind to your neighbors from now on. Reverence for heaven and earth. Do it yourself. Li Yuanhuai held the one as light as a feather, but as heavy as Tarzan's white hair. I can't help crying anymore. Many things happened to Wang Zhao that day. The unfilial son knelt before his parents' bed. Tears of forgiveness. And that precious white hair. Neighbors who are idle on weekdays. They exchanged food and water for each other at home. The strongest men in the village gather spontaneously. Follow the king. It's not about opportunistic new water sources, but to unblock those. A river rescue channel that has been silted up for many years, and water rescue area. They no longer expect heaven to descend on gang. Instead, choose to use your own hands. Go and do something practical for this land. Strange thing is, since every household has prepared those three things, since the atmosphere in the village has changed, the weirdness really goes away. Li Yuanhuai's body is getting better day by day. He dismissed the servants in the house, sold the surplus land, put money. It was distributed to the most difficult families in the village. The well in his house still doesn't have much water. But it became clear again. Although the entire Wang Zhao is still dry, but no more caring for the sick livestock. No one is troubled by nightmares anymore. Hearts are coming together like never before. They help each other with limited water. Irrigation of the most important fields. Although the harvest of cocoons, but not a single one went hungry. The whole size has no spring year. Although Wang Zhao is miserable, but he lived an unusually peaceful life. Until the following spring, when the first spring rain finally fell, the villagers spontaneously came to the Temple of Earth. They didn't kill to celebrate. Just silently put yourself on. The three things that were treasured for a year were taken out. They threw the hearth soil back into the land that raised them. They will be in the past. He threw himself into the construction of a mountain canal for the village. Established Gandhi Township. They put that white hair carefully buried in front of his ancestral grave. Do it all. They are facing the statue of the landlord. He also bowed deeply to the king. Wang Jiang stood in the crowd, looking at the simple and kind faces, watching the fields come alive in the rain. There was a long-lost look on his face. Smile from the heart. He knew that Wang Zhao had survived this disaster. And he himself finally understood. His stunning craftsmanship never fails. What he's looking for, it's never just an underground vein. It is the mouth and the heart that will never dry up. The spring of kindness. The Tao Te Ching has clouds and is as good as water. Water is good for all things without contention. Real good luck and avoid bad luck. It's not some magical weapon. It is to return to the most fundamental character of Taoist. The calamity of Chima without spring. For Wang Zhao, it's more of a blessing than a curse. He burned away the arrogance and selfishness in people's hearts. Gratitude is also poured out. The good fruit of awe and unity. Shave less red at the door. See it as a return to humility. He often carries 3 things with him to create a new soil form. Keeping the roots of the family is copper coins. It is a turtle who fears heaven and earth. And that white hair, it is to awaken the sleeping humanistic filial pipe. These 3 things together. Just a benevolent son. The right time and the right place are not as good as people, and people, after all. When people are kind, even in a famine, you can cultivate fusion. When people are evil, even with gold, will eventually become scorched earth. This evil may be the true nature of the land. Want to tell the world the more ancient and unchanging truth.